What's up, everybody? This is Ryan with the 208 Side Hustle, and for today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at a lot of the silly posts that we see in these Facebook groups that cater to resellers. Drop a comment below and let me know what you think when you guys see these types of posts. Let's jump right into the first one. All right, you guys, here we go with the first one. This brings back a lot of memories and really makes me feel old, but a lot of people probably remember the late night TV Girls Gone Wild VHS tapes. These were extremely popular, and this poster says, hey, listed this last night, and it was pulled by eBay around 3 a.m. Tons of others listed. I don't get it. I do understand that it's an adult, VHS, but why mine and not others? Is Facebook Marketplace a good place to list it? So here's the thing. When you're starting to build a business, you want to focus on you and what you're doing. Don't ever try to build a business or a brand or a process based upon what you're seeing others doing. eBay has updated their guidelines, and at the end of the day, if you're going to be a reseller online, it's up to you to read all the rules and regulations and know what you can and cannot sell. They're not going to give you a break just by you saying, hey, I didn't know I could post this. They clearly list all those rules. So again, the onus is on you to make sure you know what you're allowed to list. Now, ever since PayPal jumped over to managed payments, there's been many topics on this. As of right now, they have grandfathered in some people that were currently selling adult themed items. However, most resellers as of now are no longer able to sell these adult items. So rather than complaining saying, hey, other people have theirs up, the reality is you weren't grandfathered in. You're not allowed to sell it on the eBay platform. Stop complaining. All right, let's take a look at this one. How many sellers out there tired of high bidders that never pay and eBay just cancels the sale? Well, I've got news for you. It doesn't matter what platform you're selling on. They all have issues. They all have pros and cons. And I tell everybody, it's up to you as a seller to look at the pros and look at the cons and figure out what platforms you're willing to accept the cons. If the cons absolutely outweigh the pros, then it probably doesn't make a lot of sense to sell items on that platform. However, if the pros do outweigh the cons, just go ahead and deal with it. But here's the thing, as of right now, eBay does know that this is an issue. It's also an issue when you send an offer to a buyer and they accept it and then they don't pay it. They are in the process of fixing that. I don't have a date when that will be fixed or what exactly they are doing to fix it, but here's what I can tell you. This is just what you call part of the business. So if you want to be an online reseller, you just have to accept the fact that people will bid on your item and then they're not going to pay. Sometimes life happens and things change for people. I get that. Yes, 9 out of 10 times it's just somebody that was flaky. They probably got caught up in a bidding war. They overpaid for it and then they had buyer's remorse and they don't want to pay for it. So at the end of the day, again, this stuff's always going to happen. Just suck it up, deal with it, and just know that you're always going to be experiencing that. Me personally, I don't do auctions for this reason. I buy something for a set price. I know exactly what I want to sell it for, and I know at the lowest price I'll take for it. Therefore, I simply do buy it now. I don't do auctions. There's a big debate between whether auctions are better than buy it now, but that's going to depend on you and your business model and really what the product is you're selling. I don't like dealing with people that don't pay for my stuff, so therefore I don't deal with it, but just know eBay is working on it, so stop complaining about this stuff in the groups. We're all dealing with it. All right, here's a good one for you. What kind of printer and paper do y'all print your address labels? I still do it the old-fashioned way at the post office. Now, I'm not trying to knock anyone, but here's the deal. This is 2021. That is such an old school, archaic way to do things. If you sell 5 things a year, knock yourself out, go to the post office, have a good time. There's just no reason that if you are taking reselling even 10% serious, you're wasting your time using regular paper, printing it out and trying to tape that to a box. Get yourself a thermal printer. Rollo is the real hot one that everybody uses right now. I bought a Dymo 4XL back before the Rollo was available. I'll do a video on the differences between those. And even if you don't want to spend the money on a Rollo, I think they're about $180. There are some other off brands that look just like the Rollo, and I've heard they work really well. So if you want to save some money, you can go that route, but I cannot give you any advice on the longevity of those knockoff brands or customer support. Let's jump on to the next one, guys. All right, you guys, so this one right here is actually a pretty good one, and I intend to do a little more in-depth video on this topic in the future, but this is the ability to say no and fire a buyer. A lot of people just forget you can do that. You know, you're the seller, you're in control of what you're doing here. So this right here just says that basically the seller got a question, the buyer has zero feedback in the last 12 months. He says he's not even sure if he wants to go down this road, and then you can see the questions right here. A simple yes or no answer to the question below is requested. Can you tell me if the boom box has been refurbished by a professional tech? If so, explain exactly what was done and when. Does the gears of the cassette player make noise when it's in use? Does the cassette player eat the cassette tape? Yada, yada, yada. I'm not going to bore you and read every single one of those questions. It's up on the screen. You can read through them. I've been buying and selling for over 20 years, and I could tell you right now, even if my profit was $100 in selling an item like this, if I get a question from somebody about a boombox and they literally give us 14 yes or no questions that quite frankly are a little absurd when buying a used boombox, I can tell you right now, I'm not selling it. Even if I would just politely respond back to the guy, sounds like this boombox might not be for you. You might want to look into buying something brand new. Just in my years of experience getting this kind of a question, you're probably going to get 10 more follow-up questions. You're going to send the item to the gentleman, and then he will nitpick or complain about it. Then he'll probably try to strong-arm you and ask you for a credit back. Now, obviously on eBay, if somebody does that, that's great because then you can just report them. However, they most likely would want to send a return. And obviously, if you're shipping out something like a boombox, it's going to be a little bit bigger, heavier item, and you're going to have more expense in the shipping. If they file an item not as described and you try to fight that, as long as they provide tracking back, eBay is going to go ahead and refund them the money anyways, and it kind of dings your account. So again, this right here is just what you call the power of no. You control your business. I definitely would not sell it to this gentleman. I see a lot of people sell items to people like this, and it's like a $20 item. For me, guys, time is money, and I'm not trying to say I'm better than other people or anything like that. But again, we all can pick and choose how we want to run our business, and I don't have time for this kind of stuff. You know, I do, and this is why it's important. Take really good photos, describe all the good in your photo, describe all the good things with your item, and also make sure you point out everything bad. You never want to try to conceal or downplay something, because then you're just opening yourself up to a request, a return request, and then you're gonna lose money. So it's always best to just take the best photos you can, give a very detailed description, and share everything that's wrong with that item, so that way the person that purchases it, they know exactly what they're getting, and they're gonna be a happy customer. And that's how you guys really keep up that 100% feedback. All right, here we go again. This is along the lines of something I've already talked about, revenge for nonsense returns. I'm fed up with getting returns that state no longer needed. Changed my mind. Child doesn't like the gift. Ordered by mistake. Ordered by my child. I've even had people offer different sizes of the same product and return the ones that don't fit them the best. I'm out packaging material, shipping costs, sometimes new product condition. I haven't done it yet, but from now on, when I see the person's a fellow reseller, I'm ordering and returning to them with the same excuse. And again, this is going to fall back on some of the other topics I already talked about. If you want to be a reseller and you're doing it part-time or even full-time, you have to remember we're in the customer service industry. We are buying products and selling it to a consumer. So at the end of the day, you're always going to be battling people returning items. And I can tell you right now, the sooner you can wrap your mindset around just returning the item and moving on, that will make your life so much simpler. You won't get frustrated at this stuff. I've sold over 350 items in the last 90 days, and I think I've dealt with one return. I don't even care anymore. It's literally called the cost of doing business. And if you don't want to deal with returns, then don't get into the reselling game, especially with items like electronics or clothing, shoes. You're going to get a lot of returns in those arenas, or those niches, I should say. Well, there you guys have it. That was my first video called A Reseller, reviewing reseller comments in Facebook groups. Drop a comment below and let me know what type of things that you guys are seeing that drive you crazy, or even just let me know what you think about my response to the comments that you guys saw in this video. If you've made it this far into the video, congratulations. You guys have a lot more patience than I do. But if you truly did like the content, go ahead and give this video a like. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss more content like this. If you guys like this type of video, I'm going to continue to drop these once a week, and like always, we'll catch you on the next video.